Guys, I just came back from a crazy long commute from Manchester, and I came home. You know, my room's a mess. I've got post everywhere, I've got boxes on the floor, but I don't really care. I need to crack on talking about what I just came home to. I just came home, guys, to the literal launch of classic legacy Blizzard developed servers, right? Which I am just completely speechless. I mean, I'll pause just for a second. Just give you some evidence. I've got clips.
To announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
So as you can see, that is a pretty astounding, solid announcement. Funny enough, it is announced by the guy who everyone hated a few weeks, you know, a few months ago. Well, a year ago, everyone hated this guy. He gave us the think you do but you don't meme. You know, back in the day when the Staris was closed down, we were all raging about this. We signed a petition. Remember, we actually signed a petition. The Staris team started a petition to encourage Blizzard to make their own legacy servers, and that petition has actually been fulfilled. When do petitions actually work? You know, when do they actually work? Hey guys, it's just crazy. We've won. You know, we've actually somehow managed to come together as a community. We've managed to moan enough to literally get a big developer like Blizzard to completely change its business plan entirely. The only time this has ever happened before is, for instance, RuneScape. You had the new RuneScape. People moaned about it. They said they wanted the old RuneScape. The developers of RuneScape re-released the old RuneScape. You know, it's not very often that a big corporate business like Blizzard, a big game developer, actually make community influenced decisions, and today they have, which I am absolutely speechless. I can't even comprehend it, really, because I can't believe what we've done. Like, we came up with the idea as a legacy server. We came up with the ideas ourselves, and now Blizzard are going ahead and doing it. They're listening to the community, and it's like, what's going on? You know, honestly, at the start of this year, I've just completely lost all hope in video games. I don't even really play video games anymore. I've kind of quit them, if I'm honest. And it's things like this which make me passionate about the industry and gaming again. I'm like thinking, if more developers are going to follow in this example, if Blizzard are going to set this huge example, then this is a good step forward. It's like mods coming on the console, or I don't know what else has happened, but you know, these big rational changes to business models, when the barrier between community and developer is broken down more, it can only be a step forward. I know obviously the gamer is not always right. You know, you've got teams of professionals who know what's right, but at the end of the day, you've got to listen to your audience. That's who you're making the games for. That's what Blizzard are doing, and it's just astronomical. I'm astronomically speechless. This is like, it's going to be interesting, guys. For instance, I hope that I don't think it's going to be authentically precisely like vanilla, because Blizzard know, we know for a fact that vanilla had some weaknesses. It wasn't a perfect polished game. For instance, a lot of the specializations, Balanced Druid, Enhancement Shaman, Protection Paladin, Guardian Druid, all these kind of things were not, all those specializations were not even viable in classic World of Warcraft. The Dungeon Finder effectively ruined the game. You know, all these kind of things, maybe they're going to develop it in an even better way, which is something to definitely look forward to. Like, you know, when we went back to these classic servers, Nastarius, Elysium, all that kind of thing, we went back and that experience that we got when we went back to those private servers, with Blizzard, it's going to be even better than that. Which, well, it might be worse, you know, you never know. It might be worse, obviously, but it's probably not going to be. I guess what Blizzard will probably try and attempt to do is take the best features of Retail World of Warcraft and mix it in a little bit. They probably will... Is that a fire alarm? I hope that is... It's gone off, I don't want it to ruin my video. Hopefully they'll not include everything about vanilla, because there are a few things of vanilla that obviously were bad. Like for instance specs not being viable. Hopefully they will fix things like that. Make the game less horrible and irritating. Mostly irritating, you know, not being able to get to a mount until level 40. The mount costing so much, and all those like slight minor irritations which are just annoying. Maybe the game will be less grindy, for instance. There's a lot of grinding you have to do in vanilla. Perhaps it will take things down a little bit better and just take the best things out of retail. I'm not saying retail isn't grindy, but it's probably a lot less grindy than vanilla. And maybe they'll even revamp the graphics. Maybe they'll revamp the graphics of the old zones like they did in... They have effectively already done it in Cataclysm. Maybe they'll improve the models. Well, not improve the models, but use the new up-to-date models with the classic servers. For instance, you'll be wandering around, the NPCs will have the new models, the characters you play will have the new models, etc. I mean, I wouldn't be so bothered about that. A lot of people probably whinge about that, but probably only like fairly meticulous nerds. I'm not really bothered about that, honestly. Maybe they'll even revamp the old gear. You know, for instance, your old tier 2 sets, maybe they'll get a higher resolution update, which would be cool. Maybe the raiding will not be 40 man, you know, that's another thing. I'll probably have to, because at the end of the day, 40 man raiding was annoying. It was annoying, because I had to put, you know, really like, it was only, even though it was a 40 man raid, it was still only a 20 man raid anyway, because 20 other people were there just to fill the numbers and they weren't doing anything that useful most of the time. 40 man raiding, I don't think they'll have that, because it's just, again, like, it depends. We'll have to see, because, you know, there's a lot of irritating things about vanilla which I predict that they'll probably get rid of. And for instance, like, they could add more niche features that they've had in Retail 2 Classic. For instance, Transmog. They may add Transmog. A lot of people will probably whinge about that as well, you know, the meticulous nerds that you can't stand having a conversation with. You know, the kind of people who, you know, don't have very good social skills. Just joking. But Transmog, you know, it's just a niche feature. It doesn't ruin the game at all. It doesn't really affect the game at all. It's just a little niche cosmetic feature which would not drastically affect the quality of the gameplay of the game. Maybe they'll have something like that in. Maybe they'll what I'm trying to say is that maybe they'll have vanilla, but also drastically improve it. It'd be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, I probably rambled on long enough, guys. But isn't it just great, you know, how this has happened? You know, we've come together as a community. We've moaned, moaned into the ground, and now we've influenced a big game developer to change, to make decisions on our moaning, which I think is impressive. You know, this is going to get a lot of press. It's going to get a lot of attention. This is crazy. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Hope everyone had a good Halloween. I didn't have such a good Halloween. I got into a bit of trouble, as you can see there. But I also bought a new car recently. I'm going to be making a video about that. Just bought an Audi A3. I hadn't driven for like 3 years and 10 months. I had to drive home at dark, at night, sorry, on the motorway. Fuck, it's nerve-wracking. Maybe it deserves a video. But yeah, I think I'm making a new car video soon. Stay tuned for that. Next video, another one of my next videos is probably the next video. I'm gonna do do a video on superhero mods for Skyrim. So stay tuned for that. That's about it, guys. My name is Metagoblin. To my next video. Christ, that was good timing. That just a burp came up. Ciao.